So, welcome to the session on building sustained optimism to win in career and business in the midst of difficulties, in the midst of chaos, in the midst of pain, in the midst of failure, heartbreak, whatever bad thing you can think about when you have chosen that path to become incredible in life. You have chosen that path to become remarkable, to become somebody who can be a point of reference in an industry, in the society. There is a certain attitude that you need to practice to win and to succeed despite difficulties. I can tell you, many of us must have been there. Many people have given up in life. Many people have chosen to become normal. Many people have chosen not to pursue a particular path because difficulties held them back, because they did not know how to give up. Many people have chosen, they don't know how to continue. Many people have chosen suicide over life because of difficulties, because they got themselves into a terrible mess and they didn't know how to come out of it. They didn't know how to sustain the right optimism or momentum to come out of that mess and still win in life. And we will be breaking this down, looking at the law of optimism according to Brian Tracy in his book, The 100 Laws of Business Success, which I added life success also into it. Positivity is telling ourselves and others that everything is good, even if it is not good. I want to differentiate between positivity and optimism. Many a times people get to use these two words interchangeably, but they are not really the same. They are two different words. I like to consider them as one is a junior brother and one is the elder brother. Positivity is the younger brother or the junior brother to optimism. So positivity is me uh, 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 telling you that, you know what, everything is okay, but meanwhile, everything is not okay. I am just trying to be positive and I am superficial about it. And many people get that way. Somebody will tell you, I'm fine. But tomorrow you hear that they have committed suicide. Or tomorrow you hear that, oh, this has happened, something stupid has just happened from nowhere. You're even surprised, but we are like, but he said he was fine. She said she was fine. But then what happened? They were just positive. While optimism accepts the truth about the reality. Yes, you accept the truth about the reality and you look and walk forward to a brighter future with a sustained belief that the future has better possibilities. Now, that is optimism. You accept the truth about the reality, and you can even openly communicate that reality with somebody you trust or somebody you think you can trust. I'm using the word you think you can trust because there are people you feel that you can trust them. But when you trust them today, tomorrow, they are so dishonest. Whatever you shared with them is everywhere on the internet or everywhere in the neighborhood. It's okay, shit happens. Don't let people's bad character and dishonesty hurt you. Okay? So, but optimism means you accept the truth about your reality. You know this is who you are. And when somebody close to you asks you, are you okay? You don't pretend to say everything is fine when everything is not fine. You communicate the reality with the mentality of looking forward to a better solution. looking forward to a brighter future with a sustained belief that there are better days ahead, with a sustained belief that life is always full of future possibilities. That is optimism. You don't camouflage, you don't run away, you don't pretend what is not there. No, you accept. But when you accept the reality, you don't allow the reality to kill you. You don't allow the reality to break you. This is one thing I always tell, especially when I'm talking to somebody who's going through the most difficult period of their lives. I tell them one of the things I want you to protect in this difficult moment is protect your heart and your mind. In your most difficult period, if you still have clarity of thought and your heart is not bitter, you will always rise. I am not saying this because I want to encourage you. I'm saying this because I know and I've been there several times. In my most difficult moments, some of the most important things that have saved me is that I learned how to make sure that in that chaos, in that difficulty, my heart is protected. My heart is not converted to bitterness and disbelief. Many people get to commit suicide because they don't protect their hearts. Their heart and mind now operate from that dimension where they believe that there is no way out of this life. So the only option they see is just death and consistent failure. They don't see the possibility of a beautiful future despite the present difficulty. And let me tell you, there is no way you will thrive in career and in business, especially business, if you have not mastered the art of being optimistic in the midst of your most shitty difficulties. Anything can happen in business. You can go get a loan from a bank to start or upgrade your business, and as you're leaving the bank, armed robbers can attack you and take the money. You have a loan to pay back in the bank plus interest, but you have not used the money. Come on, that can be so difficult, but you can still rise if you choose to be optimistic. Or you're a girl or a boy, somebody has broken your heart. Come on, it's going to be painful, but there are 7 billion other people out there who can still love you. Sustained optimism. Somebody has backstabbed you, somebody has shared lies, or somebody has even shared the truth, or somebody has shared their nude pictures or naked pictures in public on social media. Oh, it's okay. That's going to be difficult. You're going to feel as if your life is finished. Of course, trust me, after 1 week, they're going to forget the pictures and they'll go back to the reality of their own personal challenges in their own lives. Trends don't last. Social media trends don't last. Have you noticed? After 1 week, we all have forgotten about Kayamata. We all have forgotten about whatever was happening about 1 month ago trending on social media. But optimism tells you that, okay, the negative trend is going on right now, it's all right. I'm going to look for better ways to rebuild my brand and do the work that is required of me to do that. So you need to understand that for you to win in career and business, you need to categorically and intentionally be very, very conscious about your ability to take charge of your own life. Don't allow, optimistic people don't allow things to chance. Optimistic people don't say it is well and hope for the best. No, 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 no. They take action. They look forward to a sustained future with the belief that their future, their tomorrow, next week, next month, next year is still full of beautiful possibilities. A true career leader and business leader radiates the confidence that all difficulties can be overcome and all goals can be attained. Please write this down. And if possible, print it and put on your wall somewhere. A true business leader, a true career person, anybody who is going to succeed in this life, especially in Africa, you need to radiate the confidence that all difficulties can be overcome and all goals can be attained. This is very critical. You may be listening to me right now. You're going through the most difficult moments of your life right now. Maybe you don't even know what you're going to eat in the evening. Of course, I've been there. I've lived many days of my life. I don't know what I'm going to sleep the next evening, or what I'm going to eat the next day. In the process of building this career, was because I'm still building it, still at the beginning of whatever I want to achieve as a person. In the process of all this, you know, I sat quiet a few moments ago because I was just thinking about all the shitty stuff I've gone through. You know, in the midst of all this shitty stuff, in the midst of all this mess up, a true leader, and you being a leader doesn't mean that you have succeeded already. No, your leadership starts when you are still nothing. Please, your leadership starts when you are still nothing. Your leadership starts when your startup is still in your room or in your parlor or in your backside. That's when your leadership starts. You don't start being a leader when you have made it. No, that's not leadership. You want to see true leaders? You'll see them at their lowest points in life. A true leader radiates the confidence that all difficulties can be overcome and all goals can be attained. This reminds me of Samuel Etoffi's true story. We all know Samuel Etoffi, right? He's a celebrated champion in Cameroon and a leader in Cameroon, and he deserved that celebration. At the age of 15, Samuel Etoffi moved to the US on a visitor's visa for 10 days. And in that 10 days, his dream was to become a world-class player. At the age of 15, he had the dream to become a world-class player. So he went to France at the age of 15 for a test, for a football test, so that he can be selected in one of these clubs to play. And after 10 days, he was not selected and he became an immigrant. What it means that while in France now, he lived in France for additional 9 months after that 10 days visa, and he was living in France in hiding and trying to get opportunities where he can play football and a team can select him and help him with visa and all of that. For 9 months, he was living in hiding. Sometimes he will live for about 1 or 2 months without playing football because he cannot go in public anyhow because of asking for his document or papers, and nobody will know him. After 9 months of frustration and not being selected, he came back to Cameroon. And he said when he came back to Cameroon, was an interview in 2014 on France 24. When he came back to Cameroon, he kept on training. He would run for hours. He would play football for hours. He would train to build tenacity. He would train to build himself, to build his skills. And he kept on believing that he will be one of the greatest footballers of Africa. In that difficulty, he was training. And that's one thing I always tell people: when you are patient, whatever you do when you're patient, whatever you do in the midst of difficulties is very important. There are 2 types of people. In the midst of difficulties, some people are training, some are complaining, some are reading, some are crying, some are writing dreams and goals, some are shedding tears. What do you do in the midst of your difficulties? Very important. Samuel Etoffi, he was training and running in this Douala. He will run under the sun, he will run in the night to perfect his strength that he needs to become a world-class footballer. After some time again, he went back again to France, another visa. And he was doing test footballing and all of that, and he was rejected. They interviewed a coach in that interview, and the coach said that they rejected a world-class player. The coach shared that they picked 5 players to test, and out of the 5 players, 4 were selected, and only Samuel Eto'o was not selected. Samuel Eto'o said he was broken down. He felt as if he was nothing, he was useless. But he said he believed, he still believed that he will become a world-class footballer someday. Remember, a true leader radiates confidence that all difficulties can be overcome and all goals can be attained. In that rejection, 4 people are selected, but only you are sent back home, that you are not a good player. He kept on believing that second trip back to Europe. Unfortunately for him, Real Madrid called him up. And when they called him up, they did not believe him. They said that he was not a good player, and they sold him out on loan to Mallorca, another football club in Spain. And when they sold him out in Mallorca, that was the beginning of his starship. That was the beginning of a championship. In Mallorca, he played 150 games and scored 62 goals. A black player dominating in the Spanish league with those number of goals and with techniques, tacticals, and being incredible. And that was how the famous FC Barcelona saw him and paid paid for him for 32 million euros to leave Real Mallorca to come play for FC Barcelona. And that was the change. That was what changed his story. What if he gave up? What if he gave up? He moved to FC Barcelona and played football with some of the greatest players that have ever walked the planet so far. From Lionel Messi to Ronaldinho to Thierry to Iniesta and to all these great guys. And he came so close at Barcelona to win the Ballon d'Or and became the 3rd world best player after Ronaldinho and Lionel Messi, I think. That is what it means to radiate confidence that despite the present difficulty, I will overcome and I will attain my goals. And he went on to win the treble, the Spanish League, the Cup, and of course the Champions League. The greatest dream of every footballer in Europe is to win the famous Champions League. And the next year he went to Inter Milan and did the treble, the first black player ever and the first player ever in the history of football to win 3 cups in 2 different football clubs, 2 consecutive seasons. And then the coach that selected the 4 other guys and neglected him said, we selected players and we neglected a world-class player. People are going to neglect you. People are going to look at you and say, whatever you're doing is nonsense, it's shitty. You are not going to go to the top. But remember, a true leader radiates the confidence that all difficulties can be overcome and all goals can be attained. From an immigrant trying to hide and seek, playing football in hide and seek, to becoming a world-class footballer that the world has ever seen. Somebody described him as the most dangerous finisher in the game of football than anybody else. That is the Samuel Eto'o that we all know. But many people don't know his story. They don't know the difficulties and the neglects that he went through. But the beauty, that's why I say when you see somebody, forget about the glory, try to dig deep. When I meet great men, I try to understand the story. I try to understand the patterns that led to their greatness. There you're going to find lessons. There you're going to find encouragement. There you're going to find things that radiate with you, resonate with you. You're going to discover yourself. Oh, this person went through this and got to where they are today. So it means I also have a possibility. I also have a future. But I want you to remember this from today. One sign that you're a true leader is not that you have succeeded yet. No. One sign that you're a true leader is that while you are still nothing, while nobody knows you yet, you radiate this exceptional jaw-dropping confidence that all difficulties can be overcome. I don't care whatever shit you're going through right now. All of that can be overcome. And most importantly, all your goals can be attained. All of them can be attained. A few of you have heard a bit of my story. And one of those that some 40 members thought that I would amount to nothing. I was the first kid in the family to be born out of wedlock. So you can imagine the stigmatization. And of course, in quotes, the general assumption and all of that. And then struggling to go through school because nobody trusted to sponsor me in school or to support my mom to sponsor me in school that I could succeed. Very few people, except my uncle, one of my uncles. Because everybody already considered this one is not going to go far, right? Because he got no dad, you see. Or nobody knows his dad, they say. I was already stigmatized as a failed person. And then worst of all, my mom could not see me off through university. I could barely finish high school and go to the university. And all of that. But I had goals, man. I had dreams. I had things I wanted to attain. I wanted to sit at the helm of different institutions and make decisions and all of that. Whatever you do in the most difficult period is very important. That's why it is said that optimism is one of the most powerful of all qualities for leadership and success in personal and business life. Optimism is one of the most powerful of all qualities for leadership in success in personal and business life. You become an irrepressible or not being able to be controlled optimist by practicing the habit of optimism whenever they are called for. And that's why I was charging you. Make sure that you are intentional about this. You must be an intentional optimist, because when life will throw things at you here and now, but if you don't remember who you are, you don't remember the kind of mindset that you have to develop, you quickly get into depression and quickly give up on life. Meanwhile, there is a beautiful future ahead of you. Imagine that Samuel Eto'o gave up and came back to Cameroon and said, life is not, I cannot make it in Europe again. I cannot become a world-class footballer. Let me just go and become a quarter boy. He would have used his own hands and thwart his own destiny. Many people have done that, given up after one try, given up because they feel that this life is not for them. Optimism is the foundation of a positive mental attitude and the foundation of future possibilities. That ability to find something worthwhile in every situation. That's what I'm telling you to do. In that business, you are not making sales right now. You don't know where you're going to get the next capital to upgrade the work you do. You don't know how you're going to open another branch and scale and go bigger. You have no idea. You're unemployed right now. You don't know how you're going to get that dream job. Optimism is the ability to find something worthwhile in every situation. You remain positive. You remain constructive in response to stress and difficulties. Oh, yes, you know that life is throwing things at you. You have accepted the reality that things are hard, but you are taking conscious actions towards a possible future. You don't even know how the next minute will look like, but you are very certain that there is a better future ahead. One of my friends preached a message in church one time and said, there is a place called there. there is a place called there. There's a place somewhere called there. You just need to get there first. Sometimes you don't need to calculate and know how that place looks like. Just know that you have to go there. Sometimes you just focus on there. There are periods you just focus on what are you going to eat in the evening. You're just focused on your daily bread for that evening. But despite you are not even sure of the daily bread for the evening, you're very certain that tomorrow you will be celebrating some good news. That is why the book says that the only things you can control in your life are your responses to the inevitable problems and difficulties for each day. Many of us don't have the power to control the problems that come our way, but we can only rise up and control our response and our reactions to the problems. And that is why how you and I respond to a situation, how you and I interpret the situation to ourselves determines how we feel about that situation. Our feelings, our emotions then determine the clarity and the effectiveness of our thoughts and our responses. That's why I said earlier, in the midst of difficulties, in the midst of chaos, if you have not lost your clarity, you have not lost your heart to bitterness, you have not missed out on your ability to be effective in your thoughts and in how you react, you will still rise. Yet you will always rise in the midst of difficulties. The more optimistic you are, the more calmer you will be in the midst of challenges and chaos. The more optimistic you are, the more positive mental attitude you will demonstrate. The more optimistic you are about life, the more creative you will be. It is difficult to think straight in a creative manner when you are not optimistic. I am still to see somebody who can think and create incredible things when they are bitter and when they don't believe in their own tomorrow. I am still to see that. And that is why optimistic people are classified I can do people. Despite what they're going through, they always say, I can do it. I will sort this out. I will get it done. You look for the good in every situation. No matter how bleak, no matter how dark that career is right now, no matter how bleak that business may look right now, you look for the good in that career. You look for the good in that your life. You look for the good in that your business. When something goes wrong, an optimistic person says that's great, and then look for something that is good within the problem or difficulty, and they always find it. Oh yes, optimistic people always find the good when something goes wrong. If you spend time to look for something good within problems, within difficulties, within that chaotic period, you will find it. But if you choose to praise the problem, you choose to magnify the difficulty, you choose to magnify the chaos, you choose to radiate on the problems and difficulties, or of course, life will show you only problems and difficulties. But as an optimist who is building for the future, as an optimist who knows that despite the present difficulties in my career and business, I am going to become a world-class professional. I am going to become a reference business person. You seek for valuable lessons in every setback and disappointment because you know that this career will be incredible. You know that this business is the next big thing that you're building. Therefore, when disappointments appear, when setbacks appear in that career and business, with your optimistic character and attitude and mentality and belief, you seek for the valuable lessons in every career setback, in every business disappointment. You look for the lessons, because with the lessons, you will build the future possibilities for that business and that career. As Napoleon Hill once said, they look for the seed of an equal or greater benefit and advantage in every setback or obstacle. That was him describing true leaders. He was emphasizing that true leaders look for the seed in every setback. True leaders look for greater benefit in every setback. Napoleon Hill emphasized that true leaders look for the advantage, even though they may be playing from the place of disadvantage. Then those are the kinds of people that will define and disrupt their own tomorrow. If you are still following and you are not sleeping and you are believing in your future possibilities, leave me a comment in the chat box. George, death has never killed anybody. If you are saying death can kill you now, it means that you're never listening to me. If this is helping you, I want to be sure that this is helping you and this is pushing you. Yes, if you are being delivered, let me know that you are being delivered. Awesome. All right. Yes, let's proceed and conclude and chat on some questions and comments. You know, Brian Tracy emphasized that optimistic people operate on the principle that difficulties cannot obstruct, but can instruct. Difficulties come in career and business, not to obstruct us, but to instruct us. This is one thing that if human beings could get in life, nobody would think of suicide. Difficulties come not to obstruct our rising, but to instruct our rising. Have that in mind. As an optimistic career professional that you are, as an optimistic business person that you are, as an optimistic leader that you are in whatever you do, focus on the future rather than the past. Look for the opportunity in every difficulty. Think about what can be done rather than focusing on what has happened in the past and who is to blame. As an optimistic professional and optimistic entrepreneur, you need to be solution-oriented rather than problem-oriented. You need to focus on the solution always. Focus on the next steps rather than the problem. Always ask the question, what should we do now? And focus on the future. That is why, as an optimistic professional, as an optimistic entrepreneur, as somebody who is building a future that is full of possibilities, you need to always discipline yourself and think in terms of what can be done now, rather than what has happened that is bad or who is to be blamed at this particular moment. You and I, you can change your mind from negative to positive in 1 second by taking your mind off the problem and focusing exclusively on the solution to whatever challenge is facing you. One thing I believe and one thing I respect God is that however he created the mind, the brain remains the most powerful machinery God ever created. If only we know how to use it the right way, the brain has the capacity, the ability to bring you out of every situation, not to talk of your ability to tap into your spirit man. And this is where understanding how to be spiritual, how to remain sane and meditate. That's why I look at the greatest of them all. They don't play with their meditation. If you understand how to tap into your spirit man and remain calm and find a way out and understand what is not being seen, dig deep into the spiritual and get to see what others cannot see, even though you are in the midst of chaos. Remains critical in this journey. That's why we are being charged that as business leaders, as career professionals, we are full of a beautiful destiny and possibilities. We need to make it a habit. Whenever we are faced with any problem of any kind, immediately we need to learn how to stop and ask, okay, we are here right now. This is the problem at hand. We're not going to blame anybody. I'm not going to blame myself. I'm not going to rant, cry, and complain. I am going to ask one simple question. What do I do right now? How can I move from now henceforth? What are the next steps? Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Somebody said that any problem you will ever face in your career or business, every problem contains a gift of wisdom that has been designed for you at this moment in your life. Somebody, whatever you're going through right now in that business, in that career, whatever is happening to you right now, it contains a gift of wisdom that has been designed just for you. And you need that gift of wisdom for your rising. You need that gift of wisdom for your future. You need that gift of wisdom to build a sustainable career and business that will stand a test of time. We need to make sure that we find the gift of wisdom in that business challenge, in that career challenge. Thomas Edison became the greatest inventor in America and one of the richest people in the world with one simple philosophy. He believed, oh yes, he believed that success consisted first of going head to head with failure. He successfully defined and designed the invention that made him rich, or the product that made him rich. And he was very okay with experimenting and failing in the midst of difficulties so that he can eliminate everywhere that will not work, so that he can come out with the one way that works. That was his belief. I read somewhere, and it was said that a journalist asked Thomas Edison, how did he feel failing 1001 times? And he replied, no, I did not fail 1001 times. I only discovered 1001 ways that do not work, which enabled me to discover the one perfect way that worked. And that is what made him one of the most successful inventors in the history of humanity and one of the richest men that existed. Some of us have not been able to manifest our greatest potential because we failed once and we gave up. Like you get to see students who failed the high school GCE once or the secondary school GCE once, and they say, you know what, I'm not writing again. You failed just once and you're giving up, then you have not seen life yet. You started a business, you have failed in business just once or twice, and you say business is hard, you have not even started yet. You need to work on your optimism. You need to work on it. When you begin to look upon each temporary failure or setback as a stepping stone on the road to the success that must inevitably come. Now, this is something that is critical. Now, I always say that one sign that you are a successful entrepreneur is that you have come to a point in your life where you believe and you have ascertained that everything is permitted to happen in my life. But one thing is not permitted to happen. I am not permitted to give up. Everything is permitted to happen. I am permitted to lose money. I am permitted to get into debt. I am permitted for people to betray me. I am permitted for people to backstab me, to lie against me, to do whatever shit that they want to do. But one thing is not permitted. I am not permitted to give up. Do you know why? Because you have this exceptional belief. You have this massive belief that whatever is going on, success will inevitably come. Nobody can stop it. Nothing will stop it. Success will definitely come. That's why it's important to be completely optimistic about your life and the path that you have chosen. Therefore, we have to believe, career professionals and businessmen and women, we have to believe that we are capable of anything. We have to believe that no matter what, the end will always justify how rugged we decided to become. A fundamental belief in ourselves, a fundamental belief in our ability to accomplish whatever we set our minds to do enables us to succeed at whatever path we have charted for our future. It is like saying, if you believe you can, you can. If you believe you cannot, you are definitely right. So whatever you have chosen to believe is very important. And hear this, entrepreneurs, hear this, professionals. Just because today is not going well doesn't mean that your future is not going to be better. Just because today is not going well, that doesn't mean that your tomorrow has been ruined. No, that's wrong. That's very wrong belief. That is not being optimistic at all. We need to be conscious about this because today is not going well. Because yesterday, Monday did not go well, doesn't mean that Tuesday is ruined. No, don't generalize things. You are in charge of your destiny. God has given you incredible gifting. He has put you in charge of your own destiny. The only person that can get in your way, the only person that can get in the way of your destiny is you, nobody else. Now, let's quickly look at 8 techniques to build sustained optimism. Quickly, I have mentioned some in my discussion so far with you guys, but let us look at 8 techniques to build sustained optimism. If you are ready for the 8 techniques, indicate that you're ready. Indicate that you're ready. Let's see. Are you ready for the 8 techniques to practice and implement? Good. Happy to hear that Valerie is being transformed and everybody's being transformed. Good, good, good. Yes, yes. Let's look at the 8 techniques. Now, these techniques, guys, when you pick them as I'm teaching them, as I'm unraveling them, begin to look at your life right now. What have I been doing unconsciously, and what do I need to start doing consciously? Look at where are you lacking right now, and begin to make a very conscious decisions to start implementing them from today, like right now, like this very morning. Okay, you need to do that because everybody has shit that's going on. Of course, I have problems, that I have difficulties going on. Okay, Dangote has difficulties. The difference that we have difficulties in our own levels. Dangote's problem now may be that how do I fuel my private jet from Lagos to Paris? Him having the issue of that's his difficulty right now. You also be that you don't know what to eat for breakfast. We all have difficulties in our own levels. Okay, but we all need the techniques to build the sustained optimism that we need. Guys, without the right optimism, incredible success will be far from you. I can emphasize this from experience. I can emphasize this from the place of experience. Number one technique to build sustained optimism for your career and your business. Number one, don't believe your own negative thoughts. Do not believe your own negative thoughts. Reject your own negative thoughts. See, part of becoming an optimist is not believing your own negative thoughts. Learn from today to challenge your negative thoughts. Learn how to argue against yourself. Oh, I'm very good at that. I am very good at arguing against myself, especially when, you know, like one time I was invited to speak to some group of people across Africa. It was online though, but in that I was informed that there are ministers of different economic ministers and finance ministers in that session. So I was invited to speak. You know, I think that was one of my first very few times to address a session that has a couple of ministers of trade, ministers of commerce, ministers of finance, and all of that from different countries. That was like one of my first few times. Not that I'm used to addressing sessions that has ministers, ambassadors, and all of that. But I was afraid, of course. I was like, what are you gonna make sense out of that? I argued with myself before that session, like for 10 minutes. I'm arguing against that negative thought. We are battling against it. We are battling against, right? Because you need to know how to argue against yourself. Or, as I've always told you guys, on a default, a mind that is not controlled, on a default, your mind will think negativity. Your mind will think failure and challenges. Especially us in Africa, when we grow up around all the challenges and difficulties, we don't, you know, that there are people that don't believe in lack. Like kids, for example. My daughter doesn't believe that I don't have money. Right? Because for me, I know that my mother cannot have money because I've grown up in lack. I've grown up asking things and not being able to get them. So I know what it means not to have. So I know the culture of lack. My daughter doesn't know that nonsense. Because whatever she's asked for, which I think is good for her, I've always given her. Right? So the last time I went out and on Saturday, not Sunday, I was asking her, so what do you want for her birthday in few days, I think. Yes, few days. I said, what do you want? She was like, I want a bicycle. And she mentioned a particular bicycle that she wants. So I jokingly said, Daddy don't have money to buy that. And she said, Daddy has money. I need the bicycle for my birthday. That's what she said, right? So we laughed about it. She doesn't know lack. So, and it for her battles against some negative thoughts will not be possible. She doesn't know what it means to be sent away from fees. She doesn't know what it means to go to school and not have textbooks, because all of that wasn't provided for her. But me, I know what it means to go to school, and when the bursar is passing, you already know that even if the bursar is passing to his class, you start packing things in your bag because you know they're going to call your name to be sent away for fees. So for my part, my battle against myself is way deeper than what she's going to battle against. And that's why it's good to be self-aware and understand where you're coming from and understand the kind of fight you're up against. So I need to battle against myself. I need to so much just battle against it. Because how you grew up contributes to your thinking pattern. You grew up in lack, you grew up in the village, you grew up where you don't see many things. You're negative, you have already been designed to think only about lack and difficulties and challenges. So when you're faced with future possibilities, you don't even believe in the breakthroughs and the open doors. So you need to learn how not to believe in your negative thoughts. Our culture, how we grew up, contributes to this. You need to be very conscious about this. Very conscious. Very, very conscious about this. The part of becoming an optimistic career professional and business person is not refuse to be a believer in your own thoughts. Argue against yourself. Find the arguments and the evidence that proves that your negative thoughts are not true. Yes, find evidence and show yourself. Oh, look, if this person did it, I can do it. That is evidence that you can show to your negative thoughts. This is a serious battle. Somebody said the greatest human battle is the battle against self. This is what you're battling against every day. This is what you're battling against every day. This is the first technique to build a sustained optimism, a consistent battle against your own negative thoughts. Number two, the second technique that you need to build sustained optimism is to see setbacks as just setbacks. Yes, see setbacks as just setbacks. Don't see setbacks as your identity. People have taken setbacks as their identity. Because you gave birth out of wedlock, you now consider yourself as a failure, as not part of the society, or not somebody who can go find life. That is arrant nonsense. Why are you taking that single mistake to be your identity? I would like to share the story of my mother. This one thing that really, really just held her back. When she gave birth to me, it hit her so hard. It was a big blow to her. She never came back to the city ever. She never went back to school. She never saw the need to go back to school, even though her sisters really tried. Went to the village, got married in the village, grew old in the village. That is it. That's what, when you don't understand how to handle setbacks, that's what it can do for you. My mom was only able to come to Douala, a big town like this, for the first time last year. She picked that setback, became her identity. We need to be careful how we handle setbacks. Please, from today, see setbacks as just setbacks, not your identity. Not your identity. That's why whatever you say, whatever, there are people that what people say about them really kills them. I'm like, are you okay? Don't you have better things to think about your life? I always say something funny. I will say the same thing to you guys. Whatever somebody has shared to you about me is true. I don't have time to argue whether they're lying or they were right. That is your problem. Whatever they have shared to you, that is their opinion, and whatever you think about me, that is your opinion, and that is your version of the truth. I have my version of the truth about myself, and that is what matters. Whatever thing you think about, that is your problem. That's how you live in peace. See setbacks as setbacks. Don't turn setbacks into your identity. You failed the exams once. That was just a one-time failure. That was a setback. Your identity is not that of a failure. Setbacks are part of life and they are inevitable. You will always have setbacks, but choose to see them as setbacks. Learn from them. Find the gift of wisdom in that setback. Don't generalize setbacks. Like I was arguing with one of the people in PPA. There are some people that because one guy somewhere broke your heart, in your mind now, every love doesn't exist and every guy you see in your eyes is a potential heartbreaker. It is you that have a problem, not the society. It is your thinking pattern that has a problem. It is your heart that has a problem. It is not the society. 7 billion people cannot be wrong. In the midst of 3 billion plus men, all of them cannot be heartbreakers. You see, don't people generalize things that people get to generalize tribe. Like there is this funny stuff we get to say that scammers are more from this tribe, or this are more from this tribe, or prostitutes are more from this tribe, or thieves are more from this tribe. It is the old generalize all of those things. It is your level of, I was asking somebody, that's your level of exposure. If you live in a community or in a quarter where most of the people from that tribe are there and that's what they do, that is your little exposure. You have been exposed only to a few hundred of people from a particular tribe. You have now generalized that that's how people from that area behave. That is the biggest stupidity and foolishness I've seen in Cameroon. Don't generalize setbacks to yourselves. Because you failed in business A doesn't mean that you're going to fail in business B. See setbacks as just setbacks. Don't turn it to an identity. It's not your identity. Number 3 technique to build sustained momentum is to ask better questions. Yes, ask better questions. When you ask bad questions, you will get bad answers. When you ask rotten questions, you will get rotten answers. When you ask given up questions, you will get given up answers. Questions like, why me? Why is this happening to me? That is yeyecious questions. Turn them to what can I learn from this? What is the future in this? Why, if not you, who else? Who do you want that thing to happen to? Stop asking rotten questions. Start asking better questions. Ask good questions and you will get good answers. Instead of asking why me, ask what is the way forward. Instead of asking, will I ever make it in life? Ask yourself, what are the things that I need to start doing today so I can become the best version of myself in this life? Instead of asking yourself, can I be good? Can I ever be good in this thing? Begin to ask yourself, what are the actions that I need to take today to become the best there is and the best there will ever be in this industry? Stop asking rotten questions and start asking better questions. Here is somebody. The superior way to better outcomes and more optimism is to focus on what goes well and ask questions about how you can do more of what goes well. Simple. My mentees knows when I'm talking to you, I start asking some funny questions, I will just shut you up there and there. Stop personalizing bad questions to yourself. Why me? Why are my own things always like this? Haba, are you okay? That's why you're negatively self-prophesying into your own self. And since you are asking the wrong questions, you only get the wrong answers, and that's why you have wrong implementation. And when you have wrong implementation, you have wrong outcomes. Your life is yeyecious. Nothing good seems right around you. Because majority of your life, you've asked the wrong questions, you got the wrong answers, you had the wrong implementation, you had the wrong thinking pattern, and you only see wrong outcomes. This life is so easy to live and enjoy and have fun and succeed. I always say this, we are in a century that this is the easiest time in history to become very successful. This is it. You do the right things in the next 10 years, you will be marveled where you will be. People who have been doing the right actions, taking the right action between 2010 and 2020, go and check their lives. They are somewhere better. The age of being able to become anything and succeed easily started happening from 2010. When technology penetration started improving and entering Africa, it opened up to a lot of possibilities, and it will only create more possibilities. Somebody start asking better questions. Some of you need to repent from why me? Why is this happening to me? They ask a simple question, how are you doing? I manage. Did you read management in school? Number 4, practice gratitude. Very powerful technique. Practice gratitude. Even if you think you don't have anything to be grateful for, you are alive, you are breathing, you have water to drink. Go and thank God. Father, thank you for the water to drink. Gratitude. Practicing gratitude will turn you into an optimist because it will change your focus to the good things in your life that will help you to expect more good things in the future. Nothing enables you to expect good things from your future like gratitude. Be grateful for your life. Be grateful that you can read and write. Be grateful that you can walk. Be grateful that you were able to even go to school. Be grateful that you even have a job right now, even if though it's not well paid right now. Be grateful that you can even make some money every month. Nothing positions you for future good news like gratefulness. Nothing calms your mind down and opens your mind for future open doors and future creativity like gratefulness. Please be grateful. I wrote something yesterday and I shared on, I think I shared in the PPA group. I said, when anybody who says, I said there is a difference between I will be happy when and I am happy because. Anybody who says I will be happy when may never really be happy because you may never really achieve everything that you want to achieve in life. Especially if you have the wrong lifestyle, wrong habits, everything is wrong around you. The only way you want to be happy when you have a car, when you'll be happy when you build a house, want to be happy when you travel abroad. What if you don't end up traveling abroad? You are condemned for depression, right? Avoid being happy because of happenings. Be happy from the inside. Be happy from the place of gratefulness. If you are not happy now, you will not be happy tomorrow. Let me tell you. If you are not happy with your 1,000 francs you can make right now, you will not be happy when you make 1 million francs. Because when you get to that level, you will desire 10 million francs. And at the end, you will not be happy. So please practice gratitude. Look within. There's a lot to be grateful for. Sometimes my friends always feel as if I have a perfect life. No, I'm just very good at being appreciated. I am very grateful. I told one of my friends, you see, everything happening to me is a plus. You see, after this guy comes from a wealthy family. His father is one of the richest in the country. I'll say, okay, look, you see for you, for you it's different. But you see, for me, this is a bonus. For you, you went to school, the driver was dropping you off school. But you see me, I didn't know I was going to go to school. So you see, I'm grateful that I was able to know how to read and write. But to you, while you were young, you were certain that you were going to go to the university. You see, for me, I'm grateful that I was able to have a degree. But you already knew that you were going to go and do your MBA in the United States. Me, I didn't know if I was going to get a degree, first of all. You see, so you get to understand your life, be self-aware and appreciate. And that way you don't get to compete with anybody. You don't get to feel bad because your friend has this and you don't have it. I was telling this, my friend, you see, for me right now, everything happens. I thank God every day. It's a bonus to me because from where I'm coming from, I never knew I would be where I am today. So I choose to be grateful right now. I have no reason to question God for any difficulty I'm going through. I have never, I don't remember the last time I went to God and prayed to say, Father, why me? Why is this? But I've gone through some of the most difficult things. If I show you that, but you went through and you smiling like this, of course, focus on the good things that have happened already. So every day I'm thankful to God. You see all of this. I was telling somebody, I am the perfect, I can tell you about grace and mercy better than anybody else. I can tell you about the grace of God and the mercies of God better than anybody else. Because somebody who succeeds from the place of abundance can only understand when you talk about grace and mercy. But when you get to make it from the place of lack and disadvantage and pain and difficulties and the most challenging stuff ever, you get to understand what it means to be blessed and to have grace, or to be graceful, if we may say so. So please choose gratitude. Some of us are depressed because we only keep wanting. You want that shoe, you want iPhone, you want Samsung, you want this. You have been wanting all your life. You don't have it. That's why you're depressed. Be grateful for the Techno 101 that you have. If you have the energy to trek, be grateful for the trekking that you can trek. Stop wanting somebody's car that is not your own. If you can afford to pay taxi, be grateful that you can afford a taxi. Stop wanting somebody's Prado when it's not that time yet. Be grateful and work towards the beautiful future. Be grateful, yes, but believe in future possibilities. It will contribute greatly to how optimistic you will be about your future. Number 5, still related to number 6 to number 4, is learn how to celebrate wins. Learn how to celebrate small wins. Learn how to celebrate small victories. Like we say in church, learn how to give testimonies for even the smallest things that God has done for you. Don't forget what you have accomplished. Don't minimize the things you've been able to do. If you've been able to make sales of 1,000 francs, celebrate it for yourself. Celebrate it in your heart. Be happy, smile about it. Don't twist your face and say only 1,000 francs. Do you have the power to conjure somebody to come and pay you 1,000 francs? You don't. It is by grace and positioning that you're able to sell 1,000 francs. So celebrate it. Please don't forget how far you've come. One of the most incredible things I always tell God, and one of my things in my prayer, I always tell God, Father, thank you for how far I've come. And I'm grateful for how far you're going to take me. I have no idea how far you're going to take me, but I'm already grateful for it. But most importantly, celebrate how far you've come. Some of you 10 years ago, you were in a village that there was no light. A village you will spend 2 months before you see a car that is passing. But now you are in a place where you see like electricity every day and you even have a laptop. Celebrate, that's a win, right? Some of you didn't have a job 2 months ago, but now you have a job of 50,000 francs. Celebrate it. That's a win. Stop being depressed because you have a job of 500,000 francs. It's going to come someday. Some of you didn't have a business 3 years ago, but today your business can be able to pay your house rent and help you feed. Stop wanting for a car and only being depressed because you don't have a car yet or you cannot fly abroad like other people are flying. Your time will come. For now, celebrate how far you've come to have that business. It's going to play a big role in the kind of mentality you have as a career professional and as a business person. To become more of an optimist, celebrate every success, even the tiniest one. Keep what I like to call a well-done journal. Sometimes at the end of the week, I like to sit down and write, what are the wins for the week? And I celebrate myself and I thank God in my room, and then we are good to go. I don't need to brandish it out there. Have a well-done journal. Have a notepad. I have a notepad on my phone that when something good happens, I go and type there, go and write it there. Just write it there. Sometimes you sit and you cross your leg, you drink juice, and then you read the beautiful thing that has happened in your life, and you're grateful for it. Celebrate them. Number 6, set and achieve daily and weekly goals. Set and achieve daily and weekly goals. Nothing builds optimism like the ability to set and achieve daily and weekly goals, especially daily goals. Be very conscious, what I like to call priority list. Set out every day with a priority list full of beautiful goals that you want to achieve. A very important personal habit that you need to learn and practice is how to set and accomplish daily goals. Don't only set them, but push yourself, discipline yourself to achieve them on a daily basis. Don't achieve them when you feel like doing it. No, that's why I use the word discipline. Push yourself to achieve the goals, whether you feel like doing it or not. Discipline yourself to get it done. When you constantly follow through on what you say you are going to do, you will learn to trust yourself that you can get things done. You will learn to trust yourself that you are capable of producing results. And this contributes to your optimism. Set daily goals and discipline yourself from morning to night to achieve those goals. I don't trust a human being who procrastinates. I believe that anybody who procrastinates has not yet found purpose, is not passionate, and does not believe that they can succeed. If you have found your purpose, if you are passionate, and if you believe in yourself and your future, procrastination would have been dead in your life long ago. If you are here and you still procrastinate, number 1, first of all, accept my condolences for killing your own future. Number 2, it means that you are not purposeful enough. You're just one of those people that write very beautiful quotes. And that's one thing in Cameroon. People write very beautiful quotes and write very beautiful motivational speeches on their status and share on Facebook, but their life is nothing. They're not producing any result that makes sense. Procrastination is killing them, romancing their life out of their destiny. But they'll write very beautiful quotes and write-ups and motivational stuff and post on Facebook and claim how they can become a life coach. They can even coach themselves to conquer procrastination and win in life. I don't trust you if you procrastinate. I don't trust you if you tell me you will do something and you don't do it. I will have trust issues. You are not a credible human being. You are not honest with yourself, and I cannot be honest with you. Set goals and go for them. Number 7, take responsibility for your own actions. Yes, from today, start taking responsibility for your own actions. Take responsibility for that situation at hand. Our society promotes blaming other people and pointing fingers when something goes wrong. The most successful people here on earth know that they don't need to blame anyone when things go wrong. They don't even need to blame themselves when things go wrong. They need to shut the hell up, get up, and begin to get the right things done. When something goes wrong, an optimistic person, they look for the situation, they look at the situation objectively and see where they could have done something different. They use their setbacks as a learning process, not as their identity. They use their setbacks as a learning process for being the best version of themselves. So from today, take responsibility for your actions. Stop sitting by the fence. Get off the fence and take responsibility. Stop blaming yourself for your past mistakes. Take responsibility, forge ahead, and produce results. Number 8, make the moves towards your ideal situation. One of my favorite points. Take action towards your ideal situation. Take action towards your ideal future. Like I said earlier, what you do when you're patient and waiting for your moment to come is very important. What you do when you're in the midst of difficulties is very important. Like I was telling you the story of Samuel Eto'o. After 9 months in France and stranded, he was shipped back to Cameroon frustrated. But when he came back, he said, I was running for hours. I was practicing for hours. I was jogging for hours. I was training how to control the ball for hours. I was preparing myself for the big stage. That is taking action towards the ideal future. I have a question for you, somebody. What are you doing for the big stage? In that difficult moment you are going through right now, what actions are you taking towards that beautiful future that you desire? Thinking about a future is one thing, but taking actions towards that ideal future in the midst of chaos and difficulties is another thing. And true leaders, true career professionals, and true entrepreneurs, this is what they do. They make the right moves towards their ideal future, even in the midst of difficulties. For you to feel excited about your future, you need to work towards achieving your goals instead of having a stagnant life. Optimistic professionals and entrepreneurs take actions in the direction of their ideal vision. Even the smallest steps count a lot. Like I like to say, one step at a time towards the right direction is better than nothing at all or waiting for the perfect time. And in this society, in this beautiful African continent where we find ourselves, you would never have a perfect time to do anything. You would never have the perfect amount of money to do anything. Bills and problems and family matters will keep sucking money from you. You would never have the perfect governance system to do anything. Your job is to shut the hell up, stop waiting for the perfect time, and start taking actions in the direction of your ideal vision. Even the smallest steps matter, because one step at a time in the right direction will always be better than no step at all. And the last point on how to build sustained momentum, I think that's point number 9, is be flexible. Be massively flexible. We can plan for a beautiful future. We can set very beautiful goals. But it is when we attach those future outcomes that we get to lose the optimism. But the point here is, when you are planning for the future and you are optimistic about the future and you have set very clear goals and deadlines regarding your future, please be flexible. Do not let a challenge that will derail your plan to steal your joy and your future. For example, I had a dream that I would get my doctorate degree at the age of 30. I was working so hard for that. Then life happened. I could not enroll for my MBA on time. I enrolled my MBA late because I could not pay for it in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. I could not pay for it. It was expensive. 4 million plus to get a basic MBA from Africa. I could not afford. So I was against my own timeline for over 4 years or so. That was a challenge that derailed my action plan. But I did not lose hope in the goal. I had to adapt and remain flexible. Let's go back to single mothers. Now, one of my dreams is to set up a foundation where I'm going to work with single mothers and kids born out of wedlock, specialized on that, especially single mothers that, the father of the child abandoned you and run away. I'm focusing on that. There are some single mothers that are rich single mothers. They are on steady monthly salary, right? But I'm focusing on those guys that are really, the dad is not there at all. And of course, the gentleman who got you pregnant or got the person pregnant is not there at all. That's why I keep talking about them. It's a deep-seated, convicted. That's my last institution I will start, and I will dedicate my retirement to work on that foundation. I plan to retire at age 45. I'm retiring from active entrepreneurship, and I focus on speaking, traveling, and working on the foundation. Part of my life plan I've shared with you, right? Yes. So be flexible. Your dream as a young lady was, 25, you have a thriving career, you have your master's degree, you have enrolled for PhD, you have a good job, you have a car, you're helping your family, and then on your 20 or 21, you get pregnant. That's cool. Life happens. It's okay. Now you need to be flexible. A lady who is not flexible will totally give up in life and say, okay, you know what? I cannot get a master's. I cannot get a PhD. I cannot become a doctor someday. I cannot get a good job again. My own don't finish. Let me do a roadside job. Let me open one year restaurant. Let me do fried pop-off and beans. You start looking for funny things to do. You just keep that beautiful dream aside because something happened and derailed your plan. It's okay. You're going to stay home for 9 months to take care of that baby and give birth. But what do you do in that 9 months? In that 9 months, you can decide to study. In that 9 months, you can read books. In that 9 months, you can perfect your vocabulary. In that 9 months, you can read about business. In that 9 months, you can do many things while incubating that child. Oh, you're going to give birth to that child and spend another 1 year to take care of the child. Yes, what do you do within that 1 year? That is the difference. That is what it means to be flexible. The goals have not changed. You just need to be flexible and change the strategy to get there. So optimism is telling you and I that set goals, have an action plan, have priorities. But when things happen to alter the plans that we have, do not give up. Do not alter your life. Be flexible. Be flexible when things don't play out as expected. Since you and I are not Jehovah Almighty, that we can get things the way we want, we can only adapt. Let us learn to adapt, but we should not change our priorities. We should not give up on our goals because something happened and altered the course of our action plan. True joy and optimism for the future lies in being able to meet every moment of your life as it unfolds with fluidity and flexibility. Therefore, my charge for you as we conclude is list your 3 most important goals in life right now. Do this exercise throughout the day. List your 3 most important goals in your life right now. Then write down 1 step that you can take immediately to move you in the direction of each of those goals. I always tell people, every new day is an opportunity for you to do something that will advance you into that beautiful goal that you have for yourself. The second charge, list your 3 biggest worries or concerns today. List your 3 biggest worries or concerns today. Decide on at least one specific action you can take in each case to begin solving the problem or resolving the worry or the concern. Any worries you leave unattended to will only magnify itself in your life. But any worry that you have taken, you have written down, you have broken down a plan to face it head on will diminish as you pay attention to solve that particular worry. Remember, optimism accepts the truth of the reality and looks forward and works forward to a brighter future with sustained belief that there are future possibilities for you. A true career leader and a true business leader radiates the confidence that all difficulties can be overcome and all goals can be attained. When you have this kind of mentality, you will build a thriving career and a thriving business that will stand the test of time. All right, everybody, that's it for today. Questions and comments, and we'll round up.